Hello and welcome to another edition. I think this is our 100th episode of Pop and Scott Talk Baseball. I'm pretty sure it's episode 100. Uh, Not in every week, but darn close. How's everything going, Dad?
Oh, it's getting a little, your stepmother's blood pressure is getting a little better each day. So hopefully that's the 200 over 100 and the emergency room days are over. So hopefully anyway. But
Right.
everything's fine.
Good. Good.
I had a great day with kids at church today.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. So same old here, working and living life and watching ball games. My Mets are playing the A's. They're 1-1. They play today at 4. This is Sunday, of course. Um,
7:30 game on ESPN is the Cubs and Dodgers.
okay, I stayed up. They came on at 10 Friday night, so I watched that, and then it came on like 4:30 or something, and lost. Yeah, that Rooker guy's using a torpedo bat. They were talking a little bit about that, and I don't see much difference really, other than that one Yankee game. There hasn't been really much difference.
Okay, Kleber Ruiz of the catcher for the Nationals is hitting 270. He got a hit today, so he's hitting 273. He's behind. There's a guy from Colorado that's hitting 280 or something like that. I mean 380. He's hitting three. I mean he's hitting way up there. He doesn't use a torpedo bat. It's not the bat. It's the guy swinging it.
Right. And I just
that has to do with the pitching you're facing too.
Right. We talked a lot about it last week. I just wanted to kind of touch off and, really talk about that. I mean, my man Pete has really been playing well here lately. He doesn't use it. I don't think anybody on the Mets team that I've seen, because the top half of the order is playing well, the first quarter, and then after that, it's a bad drop off fast. But Rooker, who can hit, it doesn't matter what he uses for the A's. He's just a pure hitter. He's using one, and I don't see where at the end of the year we'll see the numbers and we'll see the differences. And I don't think it's going to be right now. It's not making much of a difference. So
we'll find out.
Yeah, for here or there. So, but anyway, any other news you got for us this week?
Oh, sure. I mean, this is going to be a shock to anybody. The Dodgers got a pitcher going on the IL. Blake Snell. He went on the IL. He's got I think it's his left shoulder is bothering him, and so he's on the IL. I mean, this happens every year with the Dodgers. The Dodgers and the Orioles put pitchers on the IL. Like
Ohtani pitched from the mound though this week.
Yeah, he was throwing from the mound. They think next month he'll start. Vlad Jr. signed a 14-year, $500 million extension with the Blue Jays. He has a no trade and a no defer contract. Let's see, the IL, Arizona first baseman Ivan Melendez, he's out with an oblique. AJ Vukovic, third baseman, he's out, and they said he's out, but unknown injury. Atlanta starting pitcher, like they need to lose another. Ronaldo Lopez is out with a shoulder, and he's going to need surgery, so he's going to be out for most of the summer. Zach Eflin of the O's went on the IL with a bad shoulder. I probably made a huge mistake picking the Orioles to win the East, because I just was trying to go by process of elimination, because the Yankees lost, their ace. And so I'm going, well, the Yankees would lose their ace. They probably won't do it. So I'll probably figure the Orioles. I mean, I think your pick of Boston might be pretty good, because a lot of people are picking Boston to do stuff. So maybe Boston's a pick. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. Atlanta, that I told you about that. Boston, Connor Wong, he's out with a broken finger. That's not good.
No.
Let's see. San Diego, the center fielder Jackson Merrill, he's out with a hamstring. so he's on the IL. That didn't stop him from winning. The Orioles, I think I already said that. Colton Cowles was out also, the left fielder with a broken thumb. So they're playing Kjerstad, and he hit a home run yesterday, a 2-run homer yesterday, and ignited him. They hadn't scored any runs.
Yeah, they're not lacking depth.
No, they got position players all over the place.
Right.
And they got some still down on the farm that are pretty good.
Right. Yeah.
Now I picked the Cubs to win the National League Central, and they lost Justin Steele. He's on the IL with an elbow. Now last year he was pitching very well, and I was watching the game. The guy hit a slow roller, and he came in to field it and fell funny and hurt his leg. So he was out for about 2 months. So he's out. Pablo Lopez, pitcher from Minnesota, he's out with a hamstring. Today, Marcus Stroman went on the IL with a left knee problem for the Yankees. So they lost another pitcher. And the White Sox lost Austin Slater. He has a torn meniscus, and he's on the IL. One thing, yesterday I saw it on the highlights this morning, talking about, before we came on, I was talking about the Nationals hitting into a double play with the bases loaded and not scoring a run. The Phillies beat the Cardinals yesterday, and the Cardinals hit into 5 double plays. 5 double plays in one game.
Well, they're not a good team.
The Cardinals did that was in 2011.
Yeah, they're not a good team. So.
No. Oh, the Los Angeles Angels are leading the West.
Yes.
The American League West. And the only reason I say Pirates is because the Pirates played real well in April, and then boom.
Well, if you look at it, though, they haven't played as many games as everybody else.
But I got to give them credit.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody said the Angels, they weren't going to do anything. Well, so did I. But I mean, they just I'm proud of them. I love their manager, and
Trout's having a pretty good start.
Trout's off to a good start. He's hitting the ball hard. He said this is the most fun he's had in years.
Hopefully he's not hurting. That's the big thing.
The San Diego Padres have the most wins in baseball. They have 12 wins, and they're 9-0 at home. They also have 5 shutouts. That pitching, their pitching is very good. There's 16 teams now with losing records. There's one with a 500. I know I had something else. That's probably about it. I watched college baseball the other day. Wake Forest was playing North Carolina, and this young man plays center field for Carolina. I don't know. It might have been Andrews. I don't know. One of the outfielders was named Andrews, but that center fielder, he caught 2 fly balls in that game. That was major league level. One diving, and one he just ran down, and he made it look easy. I said, "Oh my goodness!" Brought back Willie Mays, the way he was running out there in the outfield. But I mean, the kid was really good. I saw a Virginia game. They're not very good this year. They're not even ranked. Who knows how they're going to be at the end of the year. I've watched a little bit of college softball, and of course I've watched the Nationals and the Orioles when I can, and whenever they have a game on MLB.
Right.
The Tigers are doing real well.
They're playing real well.
They're leading the Central, and they're doing real well. Cleveland,
they beat 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers.
Yeah, and you picked Cleveland to win that division, and they're starting to play well. They're starting to play better. One thing I've noticed though in baseball, and that is, I was looking up. I saw this thing on MLB, and it said, the question about every team. So I looked it up, and out of all the teams, the biggest question was their pitching staff. Mm-hmm. Naturally, that's the most important part of the game. So the pitching staff was the most important. Their starting pitching was the most important part, and if it wasn't starting, it was the bullpen. Yeah. Very few had their lineup. Seattle was one with the lineup because they have one of the top 2 or 3 pitching staffs in baseball. But their lineup, their hitting is atrocious. And right now, I'm going to say this right now. I might should have picked. The last 2 years I picked the Phillies to come out of the National League, and they didn't do it. Past few years, I didn't pick them this year. I picked the Dodgers, but I'm telling you, the Phillies look good. But their pitching staff, you got one of the great pickups of the offseason, maybe the best, was Luzardo.
Right.
That guy is pitching lights out.
I know Nola got hit his last outing. I just feel like it's early in the season with them, and that top three has a lot of innings on those.
Yeah, they got a lot of innings, and
I hope they don't run. Well, I don't. I just feel like they're going to run out of gas, and then they're going to be in trouble. Well,
and the other thing they're talking about pitching, the Orioles have in their organization, they have 9 pitchers on IR. 2 of them with Tommy John surgery. The Dodgers have already lost a couple. So, I mean, those 2 teams lose pitchers left and right.
Well, I was sitting there the other day, and I'm always talking about how pitching is premium. That's the thing in baseball. But, man, when you look around the league, batting averages are down. It's home runs is what, it's who gives up home runs with men on base. And is what the league has come down to. Unless you give up 20 in a game like the Brewers did. But, I still feel like that middle innings, man, that's where the game is won and lost. It's not so much starters, it's those middle innings.
Yeah, well, I've said since we started this show 100 shows ago, I've always said the most important part of any team is their bullpen, because nobody finishes a game. You have to have bullpen, because if you don't, you're done. I mean, the Nationals have a decent bullpen, but it's not the greatest. They've lost a couple of games when the starter went out. Mackenzie Gore, for instance, struck out 13 on opening day. He didn't give up a hit, but 1 hit, leaves the game, and they lost because he was out of the game. The same thing's happened to the Orioles a couple of times. The same thing happened the other day to last night, Milwaukee. Milwaukee is playing Arizona. They're in the bottom of the 9th. Milwaukee's winning 4-0. Arizona scores 5 runs and wins the game with a walk-off sacrifice fly. So if your bullpen, guess where the Milwaukee closer is? That's right, he's pitching in New York with the Yankees. So if you don't have that bullpen, you're cooked. I mean, you and I, we saw in 2016 when the Kansas City Royals won, not because they had starting pitching, but because their starting pitchers could get them to the 7th inning. And then the 7th, 8th, and 9th, those 3 guys were lights out.
And I think what that does, too, is it gives teams a little bit of, like, the starting pitchers, like, if they know that's behind them, they can be a little bit more confident in throwing their pitches. And, they don't have to be perfect every pitch. They can give up a run or 2. Their team's going to score some. And that middle innings are going to be shut down city. So, because the Mets are having that problem right now. And some other teams, they're not giving up a lot of runs, but I'm seeing a lot of low-scoring games right now.
Well, nobody's running away with any division. So
no, and that's what I was going to talk about.
A lot of the teams are about even.
We don't have anybody really coming. No cream is rising to the top yet. We don't have any offensive players right now that we're going, oh my gosh, have you seen what this person's doing? Like we've had in years past. And if there is, somebody please let me know. I just feel like we're just kind of already got into the doldrums of mid-season, and we're only in April. And
it's the teams that aren't doing very well. For instance, the Orioles, they were talking about it the other day because they're going to get a couple of those pitchers back. Not all of them, but they're going to get a couple of their starters back.
Right.
And they may make a trade or something like that at the trade deadline. And they were saying, well, it's early. It's still early. Well, Custer said that.
Right.
It's early, but a lot of times the games you win and lose in April are just as important as the ones you win and lose in September.
They all count.
They all count. And just like a couple of years ago, San Diego, and last year, the Seattle Mariners, they came to the last day and just barely missed the playoffs because they lost games earlier in the year.
Yeah, you don't want to fall too far behind. Then you have to definitely win every week for that.
Teams do that. Atlanta did it a few years ago. So did the Nationals in 2019.
Right.
They had a losing record at the trade deadline, made a couple of trades, brought in 2 relievers and the baby shark, and the whole season turned around.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yes, it can be done, but you can't just, oh, well, we'll come together and everything will work out. It just doesn't work that way all the time.
Right. Yeah.
That's why it's the Oriole. As an Oriole fan, it was as an Oriole fan, it was discouraging that they didn't try to pick up another starting pitcher somewhere.
Yeah, me too. I could not believe they didn't go after anybody. Like they got the parts to trade. They got to get somebody, or and even strengthen up their bullpen.
Well, Boston did it. They got Boston went out and got somebody. I mean, the Orioles, the San Diego was sitting there waiting for somebody to make an offer on Cease.
Yeah, and the moves that were not made were louder in the offseason by not just the Orioles, but there was many teams.
A lot of teams, yeah.
It was like almost scared to move, scared to make moves type of deal. And I would like to hear more from, we have 24-hour baseball coverage, and nobody's really talked to a general manager or anything and asked that question. The moves that won't make. Every team could have done something a little bit more, but teams, it seems like they're okay by building within, almost like building within the draft, like you would in other sports.
Well, that might be the best way to go. You just don't know. I mean,
right.
You just don't know, and you just don't want to throw good money after bad.
And I think
that's pay $18 billion for a 500,
right.
A guy that hits 285 and drives in 68 runs. You don't want to do that.
Right, and we see that in aging pitchers. I think enough people have been snake bitten by that. How many innings they have on their arms, and now young players are so good when they come up. I mean, you're seeing more and more young 20s guys that can't even have a beer yet playing, and they're good, and they can play. And you rather spend a little bit of money on them than a lot of money on a guy that's got a lot of time on.
Yeah. Well, they had the. I wanted to ask you this. You watched the Mets and the A's. They're playing the A's.
Mm-hmm.
West Sacramento A's.
They're not calling them any. They're just the A's. That's what I know.
Because no announcer. I used to broadcast high school games. I know you don't want to say West Sacramento every time that
No, somebody called them Sacramento A's, and the A's said they did not want to be called that. They are the A's
because they're in transition before they go.
Right, they're in athletics. I asked that question the other night, and everybody was bombarding me. I was on somebody else's channel.
Well, I'm sorry. The team is located in West Sacramento.
Right, we're used to that. Like,
they can pay me not to say it. But I want to ask what I saw the highlights this morning, and I kind of liked it. They had the people sitting out on the hillside.
Yes, I was going to bring it up. Like,
oh man, you know what that reminded me of? You go back and watch Ken Burns, huge documentary about baseball. The beginning of baseball was like that. They had stands. They had the people standing around the outfield.
I can tell you, all the newer minor league ballparks have grass. They have. That's the party areas. That's where they have Thursday night in the park where beers are half off. Then they have the weekends with the families. So it's starting to be more and more that way at the park. So they're playing in a minor league ballpark. So it was a good turnout. Not great by any means, but good for the first 2 games. A lot of Mets fans. But yeah, they're all over the grass. I mean, I don't know how much it is to be there, but it can't be much. And it's probably like, hey, it's Saturday afternoon. Let's go to a ball game.
The Rays are drawing more in that the Yankee minor league ballpark than they did in their ballpark.
It's location. I'm telling you, it's location.
And they're drawing real well. They're drawing real well. I just thought I wondered what you thought of that atmosphere, because I
love it. I love it. It also reminds me a little bit of college, a lot of college parks like that. So UVA's like that. But I was going to bring it up because I think it's fun, and I think more major league ballparks should look into that instead of being seats and trying to sacrifice a little to make a little bit more. I think because how many times does a team sell out during the year? July 4th, opening day, July 4th, maybe when a huge team comes to town series, a big rivalry series, but they're going to not sell out 90% of the time.
I'll tell you something. Another day they sell out some is on Mother's Day.
Yeah, Mother's Day. Mother's Day is another huge. Father's Day.
That's a big ball. That's a big deal.
Yeah, that's a good point. Very good point. But I feel like drawing people there just to have fun at the park and enjoy good games.
Well, the Squirrels. This is the Squirrels.
I was going to say
that last year in the old Diamond, and next year they'll be in the new ballpark.
Well, they're already showed in the first week of games, they averaged over 8,000 people.
Yep.
Which was number one in minor leagues.
Yep. And they've been doing it year after year after year.
So, and that's in the new. I think a lot of people are going because of nostalgic too of the last season at the Diamond. I wouldn't mind going to a Squirrels game for that reason. Just one more time at the Diamond.
Yeah. I had one more time at Parker Field.
Yeah, we went last season at Parker Field for like when I talked to Dale Murphy, he told me we were aging ourselves when we were talking about Parker
Field.
Yeah, and the Diamond is at the time was a beautiful ballpark, and they built it, and it fell behind fast because as soon as they built it at a time that was what a ballpark was. And now, like I said, they need a grass place, they need a hangout spot, they need craft beer stands. It's a different vibe at the games, but it's hard to tell Richmond what to do because people still go to the ballpark.
Yeah, that's right. So Major League Baseball could have made them move because the park did not. Their training facilities, their visiting locker room, their bathroom facilities, all that stuff was outdated, and they could have made them move, but they didn't dare do it because
you got to have batting because that's what they built here. They got batting cages now underneath the stadium. I think you got to have some type of facilities for the players to eat and all this stuff, and for nutrition and workout, because they don't make the money to do it on their own.
Right.
But
I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I might check around at church and see if anybody's hitch a ride to a ball game next year, just to go to the new park.
Yeah, well, that's. Yeah, I'll definitely go to the new park I might try to go opening day.
Well, you probably won't get it. This year, opening day, you had to buy the ticket before opening day because they were all sold out.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, that ballpark, I've seen pictures of it. And, I mean, they got tarps over the top part of the stadium. I mean, but still, they're averaging 8,000 people at a AA ball field.
Yeah, they had 10,000 the first night.
Yeah. So that means
room only.
Yeah, they had people standing and, they got the party decks, and man, we talk a lot, and then you got our baseball is huge in the Mid Atlantic, what used to be called the old Mid Atlantic.
Yeah, it's big.
Virginia, Carolina, the Carolinas. It is huge. It's huge. The baseball is just a different level. I know
the team we got right here in town, the Chili Peppers.
Yeah, that's
an independent team. That place is packed.
And down here, these ballparks are packed all the time on the weekends. And they got what is it? In High Point, it is MLB. They're not a team affiliated, but they're MLB affiliated, but they're independent team, and they're packed. They have nights, and it's great. I mean, and I mean other parts of the country is great for baseball too, but this part of the country has always been great. It's a baseball area, so.
Well, I don't know if you had a chance to see any of the highlights of the Orioles game yesterday when they had their weekend uniform. I can describe it in 2 words: ugly.
Well, I saw Arizona's new uniform for whatever that new. It's the soft. It looks like a softball jersey.
The Orioles looked like they had their pajama bottoms on. It was all orange. It was orange pants, orange shirt, orange. Now the orange hat with the Oriole on front of it, that was tough. But the rest of the uniform was all orange, and the pants had a little pinstripe up the side. It looked like pajama bottoms.
So, what does that got to do with Baltimore?
Well, I mean, it's the primary color. I get orange and black.
Yeah, but they're supposed to be making like there's other uniforms.
The Nationals did away with what they were wearing the last 2 years with the cherry blossoms and on the hat. And I loved it.
But they don't have any say in it, really.
No, it's Nike. It's Nike and Fanatics to do. But now they're wearing blue, all light baby blue, light blue with DC on the shirt. I mean, it's not terrible, but I don't like it. I mean, they have
that's the original. That's the DC was the original insignia.
Right, but it wasn't baby blue. You know.
Right. No. But like I'd ask, where did the baby blue come from? Like, I don't understand.
A lot of the stuff comes out of the flags for the cities and stuff, like Philadelphia and that. In Boston, they have the colors that's in the city flag, and that's why they want baby blue and yellow, which is horrible looking.
I mean, it's all for selling merch. We all know that. But man, when it's ugly, it's ugly. And
your stepmom asked me why. She said, honey, why do they have so many different uniforms and everything? I said, they're selling hats and jerseys.
I think if allowed to have 4 or 5 uniforms.
If a fan wants to buy the team hat, they've got 2 or 3 team hats that they wear during the year. They have a spring training hat. They have a Willie Mays Day hat. They have a Roberto Clemente Day hat. They have
not a Willie Mays, Jackie Robinson Day.
They have a hat for Jackie Robinson. They have a hat for everybody.
July 4th, Mother's Day.
Now they got all these teams have a weekend uniform. That's another hat they want you to buy.
Yeah, because I don't buy them every year, but I'll buy one every once in a while. This is the All-Star hat.
Now, she told me I can't have any more hats because all the hooks and everything's cluttered up in here anyhow on the walls and everything. So I got old beat up stuff, so I ought to just get rid of it. But some of it's sentimental, like Michigan and Duke and, some of the college hats I got and everything.
Right. I know.
But it's just, I don't know. Some of the weekend uniforms are okay, and I understand why they're doing it, and I still enjoy the games. The uniforms don't take away from the game, but it's just some of the uniforms are just horrible.
Yeah, it's still.
I like the Rockies. That Rocky one, the green and white with the mountain range on the jersey. Yeah. I like that. That's
basically their flag. I mean,
that's fine.
That's cool. But when they just do stuff, Maryland's flag is pretty cool. I don't know what Baltimore City flag is, but if they would have did something with the Maryland flag, which the Maryland Terrapins do a lot, Terrapins.
Yeah.
They use the flag a lot in their uniforms. So, I don't know, but it's this uniform thing. I almost want to go back to batting practice shirt, away and home. That's it. The old school, the 3 jerseys. That's it.
Well, I mean, when I came up, the players didn't have the name on their back. They wore white at home and gray on the road. That was it. And then
it won't too far from. They didn't even have numbers on their back when you were born.
Exactly. Well, they started
too far before you were born.
It was the late 19. It was in the 1930s, I think.
Yeah, the Yankees started.
They started putting numbers on the players so they could recognize them, and then they decided to put the names on their back still I think Yankees and somebody else, they don't put.
Well, it depends. A lot more teams are not doing it now. I mean, it depends on the uniform too. Which ones? Yeah, the Yankees will not. I like the Yankees stance where they will not have any of those crazy jerseys. Because the pinstripe, you can't not. They have the pinstripe, their road grays, and they wear still the navy blue one.
Right.
Every once in a while.
Every once in a while, they wear the navy blue jersey.
Yeah. So that's iconic, man. You can't tell the Yankees it changed the NY or something. The Mets are different. The Mets colors come from the Giants and the Dodgers. That's why they're the colors with the orange and blue.
Yes, they did.
Or the two teams that left. And
orange and blue.
Yeah, orange and blue. So most people don't even know that. And I mean, I have the hat for their whatever the City Connect hat, which is actually a pretty cool hat. It's the bridge. You've got a purple on it because it's the purple line for the subway. It has City Connect to it, and it's not a bad uniform. And then they put the old school NYC on the front. So,
all the teams would wear. I'll just use the Phillies for an example. Mm-hmm. When they wore the home white, they had Phillies across the front. The Phillies, and then when they went on the road, they had the gray uniform and they had Philadelphia. I mean, it was the name.
Well, they had the P for a while too.
Yeah, but then like Brooklyn Dodgers. When I was a Brooklyn Dodger fan, they had Dodgers at home on the white and Brooklyn on the front of their jersey. When they were on the road, New York home with the NY on the pinstripe. On the road, they wore the grays with New York on the front of them.
Right.
So in block letters, that's what they did.
And they're just beautiful uniforms, just simple, straight, beautiful. I don't know. To me, they're trying too much to sell.
Well, they're doing it just to sell merchandise. That's all. Yeah. That's what it's for, and that's fine. I mean, that's
like you said, it doesn't take away from the play. You just got to get over it. Just go. Okay, we got to watch them wear pajamas today, and.
And when I checked, they could have put all kinds. They could have worn orange, purple, green, or white. When I was a kid, we had a black and white television.
That's right. I guess that's why everybody wore kind of white at home and gray on the road.
Well, that started long before television.
I know, I'm just kidding. But because that's the cheapest dyes.
Yeah, and that's but it didn't matter what color the teams were. The only reason I knew the color of the teams is because I had the baseball cards.
Right. Yeah. So, you got anything else for us today, Dad?
Well, not really. I'm excited about the season because, like you said, there's not some of the batting averages are down a little bit, but they've been down because there's power. But some of these younger players, this kid Torkelson for Detroit has changed his stance a little bit. I'm just going to bring this up, and he is crushing. Yep. He's crushing it. So. I'm just looking at some of these young kids.
They almost gave up on it.
Yeah, and a guy I picked to be the Rookie of the Year last year in the National League, Bush, who wound up getting hurt during the year and didn't do that well for the Cubs, he's killing. So he's come back. So a lot of these teams, and I'm enthralled with the Padres of what they're doing. I mean, they're doing real well. So I'm looking. The season's going to be great. I just think it's really going to be a good, exciting season. I've got to be patient with my Nationals. It's going to take them a while, and I just hope the whole Orioles get some of their pitching back and they can right the ship. But other than that, it is what it is. But there's going to be a lot of baseball now because the NBA is going to be in the playoffs, the hockey is going to be in the playoffs, and when they're done, then it's baseball. So anyway, and my Yogiism today is one everybody's heard, but it's funny. Joe Garagiola was his best friend growing up. Joe Garagiola caught for the Cardinals, and then he was a TV broadcaster for a long time. And but Joe Garagiola lived right across the street from Yogi when they were kids. They played on the same little league team. When one pitched, the other caught, and then they'd switch. And and they went to the big leagues, and so he wanted to visit Yogi. He lived in Montauk, New York. Yogi did at the time, so he wanted to visit. He was driving, so Yogi told him. He said, when you come to the fork in the road, take it. That was his direction because he was. That's what he was telling Joe. That
Yeah,
I just thought that's one of them everybody's heard, but it's funny. And when you come
right.
to the fork of the road, take it.
Yeah.
But that's it for me. I just I'll get back again there and watch the Nationals on one mast and then the Orioles are on the other, and the Masters are on. So
Yeah, Masters. That's probably what I'm gonna put on and watch Roy. So and
hopefully,
then wait for the Mets to come on. So thank you everybody for watching. Subscribe if you haven't, and we will see ya.